All right. Well, I think now would be a good time to drop a video before the new year. I know it's been a while since I've let one go. Been a lot of stuff going on. Done a little bit of RZR riding in the beginning of the year, but before that, about January, I had some craziness go on at the house. So took some time for myself. Didn't do much for videos, but still progressing along on the chopper. It's still not fully done. I did have to go down and redo some stuff with the rear tire because it has 2 valve stems in it. I can get into all that later. This is just going to be kind of a catch-up video to let you know that, I'm still going to put stuff out. It's just some of it's been a little bit slower than others. Still to come for this winter, I'm going to try and get some more of the chopper done, get some of the wiring finalized, get rid of the wood underneath there, get maybe a Springer type seat, and then maybe get it all torn back down and go through the wiring, schematics and everything, so that way we know what's going on. This, if anybody wants to know, it is actually a gas-powered drift trike that me and the oldest son built. It uses a fat tire from a mountain bike. Never even rode the mountain bike, just literally went down to the store, bought a brand new mountain bike, brought it home, chopped the front end off of it. But I can do that later on too. Another big one that's going to be on for this year, it'll be its own build series. So I have an 18 RS1 single seat. So the problem is a lot of people have, when you're an actual side-by-side and you go riding by yourself 90% of the time, you're carrying around an extra seat. So you go to the single seat, you get the center of gravity and so on. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but the other issue is you just can't take another person with you. Well, the other problem is you don't have the wheelbase that you need for certain things. A longer wheelbase usually helps with climbing certain hills, and some of the places I've been at Winter Rock, Tennessee, that seems to really come in handy. So this year, it will be a build series. This will be a complete tear down, frame chop, stretch it, and make it a full 4-seater length. Super ATV done one. It can be found on the web. That's kind of where I got the idea from in the first place. Unlike them though, they went and done, they only stretched it so many inches, and it was 3 inches shy of a 4-seat length. So they custom made a prop shaft to go from the front to the rear. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do a straight 4-seat prop shaft. So that way, if I ever break one, then, there's another one on the shelf. But the details of that will be right down to the full series of tear down the plastics, wires, extension, the actual measurements, because that's one thing Super ATV didn't do. They just said, hey, we stretched it this much, but not where and when and how long. So obviously, you can see the quick write-up on it with Super ATV where they tore off all the plastics, got down to the frame and so on. Some of the other things, if you notice, it does have a glass windshield and a wiper. I can do some details on some of those as well, but this is the way to go. I have laid this over quite hard on the right-hand side A-pillar. Glass stayed in fine. There's no way I'm going back to the cheap Lexan or Plexi. Not gonna happen. So some of these things, obviously, if you see them floating around in my garage, like the drift trike or, the 50s Chevy, if you want to know about them, ask questions in the comments below. One of the other things I'm going to get into, these are regular noise reduction headsets. I'm going to go through and detail a build in and of itself of how to take cheap eBay Bluetooth microphones that allow you to talk to one another and build them into a set of noise reduction headphones such as these. Now what that does is, that's probably, once you get done with it, you're gonna have some screws, a little bit of soldering. I'm not too big a fan of this version of it, but this one does work out quite well for the simplicity of it. But what it helps with is that I can get in my machine and good buddy of mine, low rants, he can get in his. We connect them up. Not only are they noise reduction, because these things are not notoriously quiet, but we can talk in real time to one another all the time on the trails. Some of them do have additional features such as auxiliary inputs and charge while you go, etc. Some of it's a little bit hard to work out, but this by far has been, I don't know, best $130, $140 I've ever spent, because there's no more of that pulling up, wait, yelling at one another, hey, where are we going? What are we doing? Or, you know, your buddy goes up and crests over the hill and can't get out, and here you come flying up there, and now you're both stuck up there trying to figure out how to get back down. So this will get its own build log, of course, and I'm going to try and do a multiple setup as well, because so far these only link so many together. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to be able to build a box and say put one of these in it and then link to 3 other ones. I'll get into all that later. I have been doing a little bit of metal casting, different forms, just some scrap stuff that I have. Another big thing that I'll probably do another series of videos if anybody's after them, or I may just do them anyway, is the beginning of the year, craziness happened, and then I went down to, I don't want to say down, I flew over to Vegas and actually spent 30 grand. Did he say 30 grand? Yes, he said 30 grand. It's actually, you can do it, it's more or less like they call it an all-on-4 system. You can find it all over the web. There's plenty of stuff everywhere about it, but I was not the typical candidate. I grew up kind of poor or whatever. You know, I still had most of all my teeth. My wisdoms were removed, but they basically said, we're going to take all of them out, and then they make new ones, and then they bolt them on titanium studs. I can get further into that. There's still more I've got to do. They're all in. I mean, you wouldn't know it if it wasn't even on the video. The people that do know me, you know, they've seen the previous ones. I'll probably try and get some photos of the office interviews when I went to go do it. So that way you can do a compare and contrast like some of the other ones. I need to stop saying I'm from Umbridge. I'll edit that out. Also, as of late, the 04 Envoy tank that I drive around, I recently got a deer on the way to work, so the entire front end of it is almost completely shot. So eBay ordered bumper, has a new grill to go in, and some other pieces, which is the giant boxes and wrapping over in the corner. But I'll get some of that up and on too. I mean, obviously, if you don't drive an Envoy, you're probably not going to care. It doesn't matter. So just stick to what videos you want. If you want more videos of different things, obviously put them down in the comments. Ask questions if I build certain things. I mean, there's not much that I haven't built. I've got videos floating around. I got one of a fire table I recently just built from scratch with propane burner parts. There will be more stuff, there will be more videos, more projects, obviously, as I get to them. I still have plenty of battery stuff to go over. There's still some other things I'm going to get wrapped into, such as building a battery bank for battery backups. Over in the corner is a pellet stove. Unfortunately, when you remove the power from it, you will lose the blower motor that sucks all the smoke and exhaust out. So there will be a battery backup build for that coming. I've already started to track the data for what power it uses. Other than that, stay tuned. So look forward to more videos, more things, questions, comments, concerns even. Drop them down below. I will get to them if I have enough time.